Well, what's the crack? You're all very welcome to episode 131 of Buckshot. Fantastic stuff. Apologies for being a bit on the late side. Things have been fucking mental. If you do follow me on any social platforms, you'll realise I'm stuck up to my hole in Panto. So we started back at Panto as we have done every year for the last 4 years. As well as that, I got a fucking dose in the middle of the week. I don't know what happened to me. Absolutely knocked me out, knocked me for six. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it's gone. Thanks to Jesus for that. And of course, you know, youngsters and fucking all the rest of it. Things have been up to 90. But thanks very much for people who have been messaging. In fairness, sound. Nobody giving out. People are just going, you know, you're normally regular with this shit. What's the fucking crack? Not a bother. We're back on track. We have a guest. Very excited. Like that. If this is your first time listening, hit subscribe. I can see people on the live play. So mind that shit. Hit subscribe. This shit will turn up on your phone twice weekly. And just to keep you abreast of everything, I did make a big reveal to the Patreons the week before last. The reason why also have been kind of sidling my time, and don't worry, Buckshot is going nowhere, but I am about to start a brand new podcast with fan favourite Owen Colgan. Yeah, so keep your ears peeled for that one. I'll keep you updated. Again, the early episodes will be released to the Patreons first, so if you do fancy jumping over onto the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. The show link will show you down the notes. Also follow me on any of the usual platforms. Tom O'Mahony Comedy, you'll find me at everything else, but just getting all that sweeping housework out of the fucking way. Welcome back for the third time, the third time ever, the only guest back for number 3. Episode 131. It didn't suit you, but you're after making it suit you. Hayley Jo, welcome back.
I have to be the first for everything.
I knew that, yeah, because Corona now is raging as well.
I know, it would have gotten my back up now. I like this thing that I'm the returning guest for the second time, the first ever guest to do that, and now I'm the first ever guest to return on the third time.
Exactly, and even if I'm on my deathbed next year and I'm not able to do Panto, I will still we'll Skype it in or something like that.
Yeah, because you were nearly on your deathbed the other day.
I don't know what happened to me. I don't get sick. And I just talked about how I don't get sick. Then yeah. I honestly think I must have fucking, I don't know, licked a filthy wall or something on the way into rehearsal or something like that.
And I said it to you when you were leaving the rehearsal room to go home. I was like, I've never seen you. What's happening to you, Tom? I've never seen Tom go a colour that grey.
But everybody was like, oh, get well, Tom, head home, you go home. And Hayley Jo turned around and goes, it's like you failed me or something. You're not the superior fucking species you thought you were, yeah. Or something along those lines.
I was like, oh, you're far from the elite now. The badgers are getting you.
You understood. But I appreciated that, and I took that to heart, and that was half the drive to get better, just to prove you fucking wrong that I am one of the superior fucking elite race.
And you know, in hindsight, when I got home, I was like, I know what's wrong with them. You were saying you've been cutting out meat for how long now? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is it kind of starting to take its toll a little bit? The change is happening.
I grew breasts anyway, I know that. So.
All that estrogen in the tofu.
It was fucking, and Natasha said the same thing. She goes, is it that your body is craving fucking, because they say like, oh, you need to listen. Also, we talked about fucking game changers. I didn't get enough of a talk on my last podcast about game changers. And for anybody who's wondering, Hayley Jo is a vegetarian/vegan. You're almost a vegan.
Well, no, I really like prawns.
So fuck those prawns.
I love prawns and mussels.
And fuck salmon.
I quite like salmon and oysters.
Right, so anything in the sea doesn't have a soul. Is that what you're saying?
It does, and I really want to cut out fish, because especially for environmental reasons, I do want to get rid of fish from my diet. And sometimes if I'm having red wine, I love, what's that, Montenegro cheese? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is it Montenegro cheese?
I assume they make, no, it's definitely a place, but also Cashel Blue is a place, and Cashel is a place too, so that's fine.
Yeah. Montenegro. There's a type of cheese and I love it. So I know there's replacements for cheeses, but it just tastes like plastic.
That. Herself brought it home one day for the crack, and we almost...
It's not good.
We weren't married that long, and to be honest with you, it was annulment was nearly around the fucking corner. I was like, what is this shit?
What have I done?
I wonder, was it that? Because that thing, Game Changers, go over, listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, go back maybe 3 or 4 from last week. There's a guy on, he used to be a vegan, and he's a nutritionist and he's a doctor of nutrition, but he explains why Game Changer is kind of a fucking media spin.
Yeah.
And he breaks it all down, and like they talk about, there's plenty of protein in chickpeas, but yeah, there might be protein in chickpeas, but is it the right proteins?
Yeah.
So what he's saying is kind of, you should be eating a little bit of meat, but what you should do if you're conscious of the, of the planet and all the rest of it, you from a responsible, sustainable type of farm. Do you know what I mean? Rather than fucking the lots that they have in America. But in fairness, I mean, here, if you were eating Irish beef, you'd be safe enough in the sustainability kind of side.
Exactly. We don't live in the States, or even the UK isn't great for it.
No.
Either. It is pretty bad. It's going towards more so how America is. But I did think Game Changers was a bit gimmicky.
Yeah.
And they kind of, even there's one scene, anyone who hasn't seen it, there's a part where they judge it on men's erections during the night while they sleep. And when they didn't eat meat for dinner that day, they went to bed that night and they monitored
their erections.
Their erection basically for that night. And for after the time they didn't eat meat, they stayed harder for longer and harder than usual. With these 3 college guys.
Do you want to get your coffee?
And my coffee's there. Pause. So
erections, yeah.
So I felt that was a kind of a ploy for that kind of audience, or to get people talking, because it is a gimmicky kind of
it's the bros.
test.
It's totally the bros thing.
To be like, oh, like, yeah, bro.
Boners, boners.
Bro, I can get a better boner.
Yeah,
if I don't eat meat.
And they did. They sidestepped apparently an awful lot of like where they gave facts, but they left out the premise of how they got to these fucking stats and things like that. But
yeah,
it's, I don't know. I mean, there is an argument for it, but of course it's been sponsored by who made it? Was it James Cameron, who owns like a huge vegan company?
Yeah.
You know, and he wants to be the biggest vegan company in the States inside, a year.
So there's a May Fainer.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
May Fain, if ever I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to take that one. I do love the types of Cowspiracy, I think is great. And What the Health is quite interesting, because it's more based on the health benefits and all that. Whereas with Game Changers, it was all, they got Arnold in on it, and it was all these athletes that have nutritionists that are monitored constantly. I felt like it would have been better to go to more regular Joe soaps,
Yeah, because I mean, it's hard to relate to somebody that says, wow, I shaved off 10,000 of a second in my sprint. And it's like, class. Yeah.
Well, what's that gonna do for someone who just, I don't know, works at a checkout every day, or works as an accountant, or what's it going to do for them?
And I agree. And there is merits to balanced diet and all the rest. And I think that's really... But of course, it's driven so hard because of Cameron's fucking financial interest. And that's what everything is all about, is fucking financial interest. But I do think, if they could create a program around... But there's no cracking, there's no extremists to go, stop eating so much of that and relax and eat more sustainably, and maybe follow a program that way. But are you one for the conspiracies? Are you? I know you probably are a bit. Yeah. Have you? What's the vibe? Because you're based in London all the time. Were you still in London when the whole Prince Andrew thing fucking broke out?
Yes, I was. And when I say we were getting up early out of bed to turn on the interview with him, and
are you serious?
And his interview was hilarious. So in the interview, they showed the photo of him with the girl who was supposedly Jeff's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And they're in a house, and Prince Andrew's arm is around her waist. And in the interview, he goes, oh, well, I don't know, if that's even me, And the woman interviewing him says, are you saying you don't recognise yourself in that photo? He said, oh, no, it's definitely me, but that's a photograph of a photograph of a photograph. So that could have been doctored and Photoshopped, So what, you Photoshopped somebody else's hand around the girl's waist? I mean, that's not where my hand was. I mean, I don't know, was I there? I can't remember. It was all just so...
Yeah.
It was just wasn't solid enough, his story. And then she was going, do you regret going to Jeffrey Epstein's house after, when the conviction was kind of coming around? He was like, oh, I wouldn't say I'd regret it, because, and he was just saying all the wrong things to cover up something. There's no way that guy wasn't involved. And... even the fact that he is speaking out and he is sitting in interviews. Normally the royals would stay away from the whole thing. Where
whose PR thought that was a good idea? Because I mean, it was like 3 weeks previous to that. It was like his doctors advised him to stand down from social activity. And it's like, really, your doctor advised it? Yeah.
It's all just a little bit contrived now, and it's like, did nobody now? I'm not trying to back him up or anything or help him anyway, but nobody take him aside before the interview and speak to him like his own management PR to say, this is what not to say. This is the stuff that's going to be thrown at you. You know, get your story straight, boy. But no, he's sat there going, well, that might not be me in that photograph of me. You're not backing yourself up here, bro. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, because being a royal, there would be a log of your every movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throughout your entire fucking life, your every movement would be logged, because there would have to be. You can't just go wandering somewhere as Prince Andrew. Like, there has to be bodyguards go with you. There has to be a driver. You know what I mean? You can't just. I'd see you back here on Wednesday. You can't do that because you'd be taking fucking hostage and stuff. Like, so everything, his every movement would be logged.
Oh, they know. The family know the truth.
Do you reckon they're gonna fuck
They
him?
all know the truth.
They're gonna fuck him out.
Queen Lizzie knows the truth. She knows what's really going on.
Did you see they brought out it got leaked with inverted commas that she was dead?
Yeah.
But talk about like a red herring to draw your eye away from.
Oh, completely.
You know?
That was all. Actually, I can't wait for it. Not that I can't wait for it to die. But I know that whatever.
Come out, ye black and tans. Come out and fight me like a man.
But I mean,
you live in their country. Come on, Hayley Jo.
But you know what it is? Like at the past few months, the past few years, I've been working in a muggle job. So not the job that I really want to be doing.
Yes.
A muggle job.
A muggle job, yeah.
And I'm thinking, God, when she dies, I'll get a good week off work. Like, everything will shut down.
It will, I suppose, yeah.
So I'll get a good bit of time off, you know, to kind of chill out, relax, and not have to worry about
Nice
things.
one, Lizzie.
You know, I know there's not going to be any auditions. There's not going to be any shifts that I'm going to have to do in work. So I'm kind of going, geez, that'll be a great piss up of a week. Imagine the parties that are going to go on.
But can you imagine the prep that's there already? You know,
they are ready to go.
There would have been commemorative plates. They're printed up, and with the date just 2020.
Yeah,
you know, like
edging it
just
in.
somebody
like,
just
already.
about to hit. Do I hit 20? Will she die before? You know,
But
so
it's so funny, like this, and I think it will be the final royal, like national royal thing that happens, that everything shuts down, because you think of the businesses, international businesses and companies that would lose money for when everything shuts down like that, because it is weird in this day and age that there's a royal family that's better than everyone else. Why is that even a thing anymore in 2019 stroke 2020 soon, that the royal family are even there?
This is the thing.
They're lizards.
She's like, her and Philip would be the last. They'd be the last stand really from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? From World War II. Hello, we are British, you know, and the good times, we'll call it. Mm-hmm. Whereas the new crowd seem not so much to give a fuck.
No.
Like, they actually have, with again inverted commas, they have jobs. You know.
Yeah.
You know, fucking whoever's coming up next. William is coming up next.
Yeah.
It's Skip and Charlo. And, you know, he's a chopper pilot, isn't he? As a
Is
job.
he?
Yeah, as a job. He went back after his wedding to his job.
Really?
So he works as, I don't know, is he like the RNLI in Britain, whatever that is?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he's a...
And do you know what's that? Like, I mean, Meghan Markle can never return to acting
Why not?
because of the royal family, because of the royal rules.
Oh, the royal decree, is it, that you can
Yeah.
never go back to your real
I
job?
mean, they
like?
can't wear a certain nail colour. It has to be nudes or pinks on their nails.
Really?
They can't wear a skirt it must be below their knee. There's so many they can't
Well, I'm in
have...
agreement with that now, Hayley Jo, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
too
you
much,
can't be showing those knees.
Sexy knees.
Knees and the knee pits. God, they're so seductive.
Knee pits.
Knee pits, the backs of your knee.
Knee pits.
Yeah.
That's a
So you
great...
got your armpits and you got your knee pits
That
at
is
the back.
a great fucking
I
phrase.
should
I
be
never heard
sticking
that.
deodorant on them now. Sticking deodorant on your knee pits.
What do you think of the other countries that have royal families? You never even hear of them, like Belgium, Germany. What's that? Luxembourg. You know, they're just token. I don't know what the fuck they do for money, but I'm guessing they get a few bob somewhere. But they're just these token things. But the others seem to be token. But then an awful lot of rules seem to hang around their neck, like, you know, what shit actually. But I've heard people talk about. I've heard the phrase, "You're not," like, we would call ourselves, "You're not very patriotic to your country." You know, if you're not being patriotic to Ireland in one way or another, somebody said, "Well, you're not being patriotic, or you're not being, you know, whatever way." But the way I've heard it described about not being patriotic to Britain is you're not being loyal.
loyal to the royal family.
Just loyal to,
royalists.
which is weird to hear, loyal like to just one person.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know me, who doesn't give a fuck about me. I find that so strange, like.
So, well, there's still people that have their whole china sets with the Queen's face on each saucer.
Yeah. Like, did you watch The Crown? The programme The Crown?
No, because I didn't like it. I watched one episode, and minutes went by with no dialogue. And it was all just lovely camera shots.
Yeah.
Very nice camera direction. That was all lovely. But I thought, no one's talking. And I just got really bored. And then I was like, God, I really wanted to just get to Princess Margaret.
Oh, yeah,
Because she's a hoot, that one. But I just wanted to hear about her scandals. I want scandal. I didn't want to...
Yeah, to be fair, they kind of explained their reasoning behind it, because it was at the beginning of it. Yeah, like, Elizabeth didn't even fully get it. She was like, what's the crack with us? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
they said, look, through all the rules and regulations that they gave her, you can do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And she was like, but what's the point of us, in a way? You know, what are we at, like? And the whole reason behind it was to keep Britain focused. So you had to be a focal point, like the sun in the sky kind of a thing, like.
Yeah.
But you couldn't form any opinion, you couldn't fucking side with anybody, you just had to be the pinnacle of what is British.
Yeah.
You're like, but that's the maddest shit ever. Like, in this day and age, I don't see it lasting, do you?
No.
I mean, the thing is, they've got a lot of nice buildings. They have a lot of nice buildings.
Oh my God, yeah.
What would happen to all their lovely buildings?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when this whole... It is kind of now coming around with this whole Brexit thing. If the Brexit law's passed and, God forbid, the Conservatives are voted in, there's very well that there could be the royal family for much longer than we think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I think that's going to... If Boris...
How the fuck is it going so backwards? What does it... Like, what is...
God.
Do you know anybody in your circle? You probably wouldn't, because you'd be in quite a liberal circle. That'd be
Well,
really?
you'd be surprised. No, not in my close friends. We'd all... Now, look, it may not make any sense to some listeners, because I've only really learned about it this year. I wanted to vote for Green Party, but they're not going to get many votes, because that would be the real Liberals, and that would be a wasted vote. So I'm going to have to vote Labour.
For Corbyn.
For Corbyn. Because I do like some of the things he says. I do still think he's a gobshite, but he's one of the better gobshites, so I'd rather just vote for him.
Yeah, best of a bad lot.
Than vote for, like, the Tories. Do you know, and Boris and all that. But I do know people that have very, very good jobs, like, you know, barristers and all that, who are voting Conservative. Because they are in those very high paid jobs that they're going to work higher and higher, that could earn close to 80k a year. And the minute they say you may have to pay £8 extra a month with tax to help people who are less fortunate, like i.e. the homeless crisis, all of those things, they're like, absolutely not. Where I won't have to pay any less tax or any more tax. I'm still going to struggle. I'm still going to be broke. But I'd rather, the people who are earning more to pay that little bit extra to help people who are in need.
Isn't it funny? Like, everything boils down to money.
It all boils down to money.
I don't know how many times I've said this in my podcast. You ever have a question about anything big, strip it all the way back.
Yeah.
There'll be money at the fucking core of it.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be money
no matter what. And even the whole Boris Johnson is now bargaining off the NHS. So the UK could lose the NHS.
Imagine that. They'll sell it to some Chinese or American crowd.
And to be honest, I really need the NHS for just one more year. Give me it for one more year and then, like, grand. Well, then I'm saying that. I'm not grand. I'm saying that because I don't know what other things I might... Because I might have to... Well, I need to get... as a singer, I need to get my throat checked again.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm having some vocal issues. And I had vocal cord surgery about 4 years back.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did they do in vocal cord surgery?
So... basically, they went in through my mouth, and now I was completely out. It was general anaesthetic.
Glad they went in that way.
Yes, they didn't cut any holes in my...
Oh, I was thinking just something ridiculous, but anyway.
Like, up through the arse?
Yeah, why not?
To get to
in
the
your
throat?
eye. Because there's times when I hear things that are like, oh, well, you know, they were at my legs, so they went in through my back. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Right, okay.
I got this weird keyhole surgery.
So they went down your throat?
Down my throat, and... I had a lump on one side of my larynx, and the other one was actually torn. And it was all, I'm sure it was down to screaming at dubs matches on Hill 16. And then just incorrect use and overusing it through college, singing from my throat when I should have been not singing from my throat.
Okay, singing from your diaphragm.
I had to have been singing for my... Yeah, I should have been singing for my
Listen
diaphragm.
to me like I know what I'm fucking talking about. I get
that's it.
one tiny singing number in this year's
Yes,
panto. And now all
Tom
of a sudden,
O'Mahony is singing in
and
this
all
year's panto.
all of a sudden I'm a fucking expert. Well,
Yeah.
that's me all over.
He's
really,
got
like.
a number.
A number.
He's featured heavily in a number. But yeah, so I went and they sliced the lump off and knitted up the part that was torn, put a load of tissue in it or something. I don't know. Very technical.
I hope it's more than tissue.
Stuffed a load of tissue in there, a load of cotton wool. And then it took me 3 months to be able to sing again. But I wasn't able to speak for 4 weeks after.
Right.
At all. I wasn't allowed to sneeze. I wasn't allowed to cough. I wasn't allowed to laugh. I couldn't cry because all of that put strain and it would have ripped the stitches and I would have all...
So you just hide under a fucking bed for...
I had to... Well, my mum and my nana took turns flying over and looking after me because I couldn't have my housemates looking after me. But in order to call anyone who was in the other room, I had to clap. So it was like what's that film? It's like Sinister or something, or The Conjuring, where they play the clapping game.
Oh yeah.
Basically, my mum would just hear me clapping from upstairs, and she'd be like, "Oh, Hayley needs me," so she'd have to run up. And I had a little Etch-a-Sketch, and that's what I wrote things on.
Now who's
to
the
speak
fucking
to
royal?
people. I know. And well, hopefully I don't have to go through surgery again in the new year. But if I do, my mum will have to answer to my claps again. A great fun. Oh, they got some laugh out of it, I'll tell you that. But I need the NHS because it was all for free.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And they were brilliant. Even the aftercare was really good
Yeah,
as well.
I've heard that. And they
Yeah,
have to be
great.
applauded on that. And if they're going to fucking shit the bed and throw that out the window,
Yeah.
oh my God.
God love them people that work for the NHS are on shite pay.
And if you, you need only look at what they did to the rail service. Cost about $7,000
Yeah.
to go, 2 cities over.
Yeah. But here, then again, what's going on with this whitewater rafting thing in Ireland?
No, it's...
in Dublin.
Yeah, they're going to put it in the convention centre. Because they were, I don't know what, I haven't looked into
So
it
I
properly.
thought, you know what, there's one thing I'd really need, I really miss it in Dublin, and that's a whitewater rafting.
Yeah, because everybody
what?
everybody owns a fucking kayak.
Yeah,
everybody.
but are we going to rent them there as well? Is it the weather's not even good enough? We're going to be freezing. We're going to have to get wetsuits.
Yeah,
Oh, they're so...
Yeah. This is some Dubai level shit. That's how
Yeah.
fucking mental we've gone with a few pound, and it's all about to fly out the fucking door again.
Again.
And we'd be left with a whitewater rafting fucking place.
And that's going to be... it's going to be up and running for a few months and it's going to be left.
Yeah.
Dry. Empty. I don't know.
I've no idea what the 23 million it's going to cost.
Jesus.
Imagine that. 23 million.
I can't even fathom that amount of money.
But the thing is, that's nothing in the scale of governments. That would be burnt up on,
And to think in the UK they don't want to pay an extra 10 quid a month in tax.
Is that all it is?
That's what it would work. Well, depending on how much you earn, once 80k and above, it goes up obviously again in the percentages and the but that's all it would be. And here I am going, I'm on £8.70 an hour in my muggle job, minimum wage, and it's so below the living wage in London. And all I'm doing is, all I'm doing is sitting at a gym reception, rolling towels, saying, "Have a good workout."
To be fair, now you did tell me that you were able to rock in there drunk.
Yes.
You rocked into work drunk.
A number of times. But the main time was Gay Pride. And it was my first London Pride. And I went out on the lash. I was working all weekend. So I'd worked on the Saturday. And I finished work at 6. But of course, all the festivities and the parade have started earlier.
What do you get from Gay Pride? Not being a gay person.
I'm not friends with many straight people.
Oh, right. Okay. Because I often wonder, I'm like, what? I don't know. I've always been working during Gay Pride. I didn't know what people got. I wouldn't go to St. Patrick's Day parades either because
I wouldn't, yeah.
Because I'm not 5.
Well, it's all Brazilians as well over here that go to the St. Patrick's Day parade.
But what is Gay Pride that gets you going?
Because I was raised by gays, as in my mum's straight, and all my family are straight.
Okay,
but
so there's
lies
are pouring in already.
Yeah, well,
your mother's a dance.
Who would lie about
dance.
this? So yeah, my mum had me in shows since the age of 4 and 5, and very early on, I discovered what gay was. So at 5 and 6, I was going around saying, "Are you gay? Are you gay?"
Around 5, 6, 7,
Years of
8.
age, yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Ah, shit! I had to explain it, and that fucking ruins it. Damn it!
5, 6 years of age, 7 years of age. But so I was raised surrounded by gay men and women, and I guess
more gay men.
Mostly gay men. And now in a lot of the majority of people in my line of work are either gender neutral, asexual, gay, straight, bisexual, drag queens, transgender. There's just so many. It's just like, so in a way I'm kind of supporting the industry I'm in as well, and the arts.
I suppose.
There's
Okay,
so
yeah,
many,
yeah.
and actually I think it's never, it must be so difficult for anyone going through that and coming out initially, but
is it as much anymore?
In my industry, I think there's so much support, and they have people that to run to with arms wide open for them. I feel for people who are accountants or solicitors, or do you know, in that line of work, kind of going.
Yeah,
it's so they don't have that. The arts are so open to it, where I think if you're not in the industry, you don't have that.
I don't know though. I don't know. I think a lot is put on it, to be honest with you, about like your sexuality should never define you. I remember that being brought up to me it was said in a comedy club one time, and it was myself and David Savage have the same opinion. We both have had said it at different times. Now he made a bigger joke of it, but it was somebody had said, "Well, I'm gay," and I went, "Well, what the fuck makes that interesting about you?"
Yeah.
That is the last thing I would
He's
ever
like, I'm
need.
straight.
I would never need to know your sexuality. I don't give a fuck.
No.
And McSavage actually had a valid point. He went, "That is." He said it another night. He was like, "That is the least interesting. That's right up to what kind of sandwich you like."
Yeah.
Like, somebody drops down dead of a fucking stroke here in this room. The last thing anybody's going to do is go, "Is there a homosexual in the room? Is there?" No, be a fucking doctor. Are you mental?
Yeah.
So
it's
sometimes
so irrelevant.
So I think sometimes there can be not an awful big deal, but just it's a thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas I've worked in environments where gay people are like, "Hey, it's crack." Like, it's like, I don't know, I don't think every gay person wants to be a dancer, you know what I mean, or wants to be an extrovert, you know. I think a lot of time it's an environment where even straight people, it would be, you know, they're very extrovert.
And I think I feel it's like that, and I like to believe it's like that everywhere, but I think that's just because in my world I see it so it's not a thing anymore. No one even bats an eyelid. But then especially working amongst people in London, in office jobs, it's still such a taboo for so many people.
Fuck.
Yeah, of course, because I think in maybe 10, 15 years, then it'll be more like nobody will bat an eyelid. But I think unfortunately, there are still, it is moving so quickly, but there are definitely still people who are like, oh, because they're not in an industry where they're open to all different walks of life and different kinds of. And I think that's why it's still.
I suppose, people can still be still surprise me as being in the Neanderthals.
Even just a friend of mine, he is a member of the gym I worked in, but he spoke to me about remarks still being made to him about being gay in his office. Yeah. Like, or just certain men being uncomfortable about it, or it's strange. And he kind of said it, and he was like, it's not an issue. He said, it doesn't bother me, and I know. You know, it's nothing. It's not a problem to do with him. It's either maybe it wasn't their upbringing, or it's still quite new to them, or they're insecure, or I don't know, they're trying to show off. There's something.
That's weird,
in
isn't
that
it?
person. Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around that. Why? Like, genuinely, it'd be like somebody telling me their shoe size. I'd go, oh, right. Mm-hmm. I can extract nothing from that. That is, or your sexuality. Be like, right? Are you going to cost me any money?
Yeah.
No, fucking sound. I don't. But maybe it was the way I was raised. Unless somebody costs you money, they're of no issue to you. Yeah, you know what I mean. I
have to say that's my granddad's mentality, and I have to commend my nana and granddad, because I know loads of my friends with grandparents that are so still very closed, narrow-minded.
Yeah.
And look, it's how they were brought up. So I think part of us have to kind of respect that age to kind of go, look, you know.
They're of a time, like they
are of a time, and look, they'll die out, and it'll be gone. But my nana and granddad are so liberal, and when it comes to any of the referendums, my granddad's thing is like, is it gonna affect me? Is it gonna stop me fucking having my dinner or going out or doing this? But he was like, let everyone do what they want. My granddad actually can't understand why there's even a vote. He's like, why are people having a say? Why can't everyone just do whatever the fuck they want? Like, it's like once he can still sit and eat his apple pie out the back garden with his dogs and go up to his choir every Sunday I mean, he hates the church anyway, but he gets a solo in the choir and he loves to sing. So, and they're both so liberal, whereas some of my nana's sisters or brothers and my uncle's siblings as well wouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that, I remember the grandfather turning around to me during the referendum. He voted for it. Both grandparents did.
Yeah.
But it was like their grasp of it was like, because you see, as well as that, you see, they'd kind of businesses back in the day, so they were always kind of thinking forward anyway. Like, but his description of it, sure, them people can't help that fucking situation. This is my 90-odd-year-old grandfather. Yeah. It's like, so what is it to do? And his in the exact same way. Will it cost me £1?
Yeah.
No. You do what you do, so. You know, but it was interesting. But yeah, it's interesting. But you do. There are still fucking backward people, and we were only talking about it. Was it yesterday we were talking about the backward fucking dating apps? I never get to talk because I know these days you talk about all my friends are married and fucking in long-term relationships. I get to hear nothing about dating apps and the London scene for. Is it what dating app? You have to tell us all about
right.
this.
So I've always hated dating apps, and I never did it.
I'll preface this as well by saying for some. To balance with the girls, I got sent dick pics.
Yeah.
Now, I told the people on the
listeners, please don't send Tom dick pics.
I've
or
explained this,
fanny
and fair play. A good few lads were sent screenshots of the podcast, going, "Great, Tom, thanks for clearing that up because I was about to send you a picture of me now." You know, but I don't. I think it's
don't send anyone a dick pic because. Like, the bottom line is nobody gets anything from looking at it. And
the possibility that anybody will get anything, chances are the only person would be another man.
Maybe.
And so, even at that...
Unless it's in the flesh and it's going to go somewhere in the next few minutes, nobody's going to get any pleasure from
there's nothing to be gained.
Still photos. So, listen, just don't bother. Give yourself a break. Don't bother. It's too much effort.
The kind of people that listen to this podcast don't need to be told that shit anyway.
No, but listen, it goes on. It does happen.
The London scene, tell us more.
The London scene is just... and I was in a relationship for 4 years. And I was never... I suppose nobody's like a relationship person, but I've been asked that before. Are you a relationship person?
What's that mean?
Or are you like... I don't even know. I was like, I'm not any kind of person. I just... Sometimes you wind up with someone, you go, oh, okay, we're doing this. And then, 4 years later, we were like, okay, this ain't going to work anymore. Yeah. So let's call a spade and part ways. Very amicable. So then all of a sudden I was single for the first time since college in London. So really I'm a woman and I'm an adult.
I'm a lady.
I'm a lady living in London as a single woman. I'm kind of going, I've never really done this. This is bizarre.
Yeah.
So I didn't get on any dating apps. I was like, no, I've no interest because you're swiping photographs of people. You don't know them. It's so empty.
Yeah.
And even you'd kind of match with somebody and they'd start talking to you and they're like, how was your day? And I couldn't be fucked telling them how my day was.
Sounds like
I don't
way
know
more
you.
fucking effort than
They're
actually talking.
Yeah. And do I have an interest in spending time with them on like a Thursday evening for a drink? No, I'd much rather spend time with my mates or sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Do you know, get a Chinese. I don't want to waste time doing that. But one of my friends said to me, you need to get on this dating app Hinge.
Hinge? Oh, this is a new one. I haven't heard it because I heard of Bumble. Bumble is where the women...
women have to start the conversation.
All right.
Where Hinge is for everyone and you state your preference, whether it be man, woman, whatever. And you have photographs and then there's questions that you answer like, oh, what would be the perfect date? Or what is a fun fact that you know? What's a random fact of yours?
So it's a more in-depth version of Tinder.
More in-depth, yeah.
Right.
So it is cool and you can kind of see people's personality more and you can strike up a conversation rather than just swiping on a photograph. It's more to personality, apparently. So I eventually was like, right, fine, I'll get on it. So the first time, I was on it within a week. I got this message saying, are you a sub?
As in, like, you like to be dominated?
Are you submissive, basically?
Okay, right,
so
yeah.
I replied, and I was like,
wrong fucking forum there, brother.
I'm not sure how... And he said, if you don't know what I mean, then maybe we're not a match.
Oh, my God.
I was like,
fuck.
No thing. And I went onto his page, and it was all very strange photographs of chains and knives, and it was all a bit crazy. So I thought, this Hinge thing already... This hasn't started well.
But you know what? Anoraks ruin everything. Like, you know, can you not be fucking maybe a year into a relationship and maybe go, hey, do I fancy a little bit of submissive there? Like, fucking nerds ruin everything. He took that fucking submissive shit Because obviously he got his head flushed down the toilet during school.
Probably,
and
yes.
Now he's into this shit, and he probably hates women as well.
Probably.
And then they just take it to the next. The first thing out of his fucking mouth is,
First thing.
"Are you a sub?"
Yeah.
How about you go have a chat of coffee or something first before you come straight out the gate?
And then maybe, but at least he's being upfront about it, and there's no point in him wasting his time on somebody who isn't a sub.
How many times is that going to land?
How
many times is that going to land?
Oh, there are some. I'm sure he finds some.
Talk about a copy and paste if ever I saw it. Like just sub.
So probably to every single person that comes up on the site for him. It doesn't matter what you look like. And then the next one was a photoshopped guy. He had photoshopped. I showed you a photo. I photoshopped.
This is amazing.
Maybe I could send you that photo and you can put it up somewhere.
I'll put it up. I will actually, and I'll put it up.
He photoshopped his face onto.
Badly.
Was it Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It was Arnold from like the early days. Arnold,
onto
it was.
his body. And it was a really bad Photoshop. So that was another one. And then one recently, I got a reply on one of my photographs saying, "What beautiful eyes. They will look so much better looking up at me when your mouth is wrapped around my cock."
Yeah, there you go. Like
that is what I get on dating apps. And
what's the next thought process? Like, is this a thing that because I often ask it, I'm constantly thinking 3 stages ahead. What will happen if I say this, they say that back to me, or this? Like, I constantly have to think that way.
Well, yeah.
Like, does he not? What does he think is going to land in your brain when you read that? Does he think, "Hello, sailor"? Like,
gonna get her.
What the fuck?
She's really gonna fall for
maybe
this.
3 messages in. But fucking straight out the gate.
I actually wanted to reply and say, "Oh, I bet you use that line on all of the ladies." Like
you should have said on all the guys.
On all the guys. But honestly, I've given up. It makes you lose all hope, because everything is on dating apps now. There's no you just meet someone.
Yeah, no, there still has to be.
To your friend.
Genetically, we're not set up for dating apps just yet.
And I never ever want to meet someone on a dating app and say, stand up at the wedding speech and go, "Well, we actually met on Hinge." It was just, and the classic one especially, there is this kind of culture amongst men in London. I shouldn't be stereotypical, but no, actually, I'm going to be stereotypical because it's all I've encountered is men in London.
That's all you have to go on.
Yeah, this middle class, born with a silver spoon in their mouth, city job, being like, "Oh, I'm just looking for some fun with the same girl ongoing, but I want to have fun with other girls at the same time." But they think that's really normal.
Right.
And I don't think that's normal. And I don't think it's okay to do that but they say, "Oh, but once you're upfront." But the thing is, they're not upfront about it.
Are they not upfront?
Oh, no. It's only when you ask and they realise they can't really lie. I mean, and I said to you, I was dating somebody for 8 weeks and I didn't think I had to ask.
Yeah.
Because you just presume, oh, no. Maybe I'm just a loyal person and this dude wasn't. But eventually I said, "Look, by any chance, you're not seeing anyone else, are you?" He's like, "Oh, I am, actually. Well, I'm just going I like to get to know lots of different people. I find people really interesting." I was like, "Oh, fuck off." Jesus Christ. I thought, right, in the bin. I was like, "Listen, that's not going to really suit me." But honestly, I've met some narcissists, and there's so many of them in London. It's horrible, actually. Being single in London isn't fun. It's that'll really not
the title
fun.
of today's show. Being single in London isn't fun.
No matter what they say, and no matter what the movies tell you or all these rom-coms, like, it's not fun.
Well, it's the volume of people too, because there's no consequence for just fucking people around, because the chances are of running into somebody in in a city of whatever 7, 8, 9 million people.
Yeah,
you can
actually, in the job that I was working in, it was like Hinge Live. That's what it was like, because I was on a reception desk in a gym in London City. So you've got all the dudes that think they're this big shot, that own their companies and come in, or they're working as in marketing or accountancy, and they come in their suits and with this bravado, and they're like, you're right, love. And they come in for their workout and they're flexing their muscles and all this kind of thing. And I got asked out on dates. All of the girls that worked in reception did, and I was forced to go on one.
You're forced to?
By my colleagues.
Okay.
Because this dude was, from the offset, he was very handsome, very tall, and had money.
Right.
And he actually...
Say no more.
Yeah, and actually he was an acquaintance to me. He didn't really speak that much. And I happened to tell him it was my birthday that weekend. And I was in work the day before my birthday.
Right.
And he was like, oh, what are you doing for it? And I said, oh, I don't really like my own birthday, you know. I don't want anyone singing to me.
Yeah.
I'll eat cake, but don't make a fuss. He's like, you're not going to have cake? I was like, no. On that Saturday, he arrived at the reception desk with a massive birthday cake for me from Lola's that cost him £85.
Well, Jesus Christ.
So they made me go on a date with this guy, and it was the worst night of my life. And I thought
dramatic.
it would never end. And when I say I thought it was over, we went for dinner, and I was afraid if I didn't speak, we weren't going to speak.
Oh, Jesus.
So I kept talking.
There was nothing going on there, was there?
No. And it got to the end of the dinner, and he went, I was like, listen, I have to be up early. Thanks a million for this. It was lovely. The food was great. And he went, oh, but our next reservation is that Crazy Golf around the corner. This was at 10 o'clock at night. And we had to go and do Crazy Golf. And when I walked into the Crazy Golf bar, there was about 12 other men I would have rather be with than him. And that's when you know. That's when you know this is.
Had he nothing to say for himself or what? Like?
No. No. And when I asked him what he did, it was like, oh, I work for something to do with the government with numbers and some mathematical thing. And
I already fucking nodded off halfway through that sentence.
Really, honestly. And dating in London anyway isn't fun. And I'm happy. I'm happy single. Please, I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone. I'm fine. Stop asking me out for drinks. Stop messaging me. Don't slide into my DMs.
Sliding into my DMs.
I will reject you because I don't want anyone. I don't care who you are. I'm not interested.
There's a soapbox under fucking Hayley Jo right now. I haven't got to. I've just sat here. You could have had your own pulpit there for the last. That was a real.
Maybe I had to really get some stuff off my chest.
Yeah, I think you fucking did. That was. I provide a therapy service. It'd be £60, please. That'll be great. Jesus.
Every time I come on the podcast, it's something very different.
Yeah. We started off. I mean, I was happy to talk about lizard people and whatnot. Wait,
I thought this was going to be more of a conspiracy.
It was, but the next thing, this conspiracy has turned into just, don't be on Hinge, don't fucking follow, don't not try and date Hayley Jo, basically.
Don't date Hayley Jo. Don't ask me out.
Anyway, we were talking quickly.
But don't eat meat.
Oh yeah, well fucking eat whatever you got to eat, but just eat it responsibly. The fucking terror attack the other day.
Jesus, let's get on to that.
So before we head back in for rehearsals, it's coming back around, but it's quick. Like, what's the fucking crack? Like, you were even saying how desensitized you are to death now. Like,
because I watched the video footage of it. I didn't know what
it's the guy on the bridge,
and a guy on London Bridge, and he had, I'm not sure if it was machetes or just two knives.
I haven't read enough into it, to be honest.
Two big enough knives, anyway. He did keep 2 people were killed, but I clicked into the video not expecting what I was going to see. But it was the civilians that tackled him to the ground and de-armed him
with a fire extinguisher, and let me just make sure there's a narwhal whale's horn.
And it was a spear that I saw. Yeah, but it was a whale's horn.
They're kind of known as the unicorn fucking whale. They have this one big horn, and I haven't read this since the fucking World Book Encyclopedia. There was a picture of one of these things, and it was this Polish guy apparently was in a fish market. And like fucking Steven Seagal, he went, I need something, and he grabbed down off there was one of these this narwhal whale horn was up on, which they're long straight twisty fucking spike. Essentially was up on the wall. He grabbed that, ran out, and started poking the guy with it.
I feel like people in London now, after all that's happened, have turned now vigilante buzz, and when now anytime somebody tries, it's like, no, civilians are like, fuck this, I'm getting in on that. And these civilians took this guy down, and then the police arrive and they pull the civilians off him, and he was wearing a hoax bomb vest.
Yeah, but I mean,
suicide vest. And they shot him when he was down, when he was on the ground, because he wasn't going to stop, and he had already killed 2 people and injured others. But I watched him get shot, and I thought, oh yes,
yeah,
they shot him. I was like, shoot the fucker. And I didn't feel in any way nauseous or in any way distressed when I saw him getting shot. I thought, good for him. But now, and then it said, the headline was like, he's been detained. So there was nothing about whether he was dead or not.
Yeah.
But in my housemates, in our group chat on WhatsApp, my housemate messaged in the group saying, he's dead. They killed him. And I replied saying, amazing, with exclamation marks.
Yeah.
So I thought, yes, good riddance to him. May he rest in hell, like. And I was like, delighted that they had shot him dead.
Isn't that funny?
But there's so much evil now, and you kind of go, you are desensitized to it. Because you see the...
People have bigger freakouts about fucking Kanye.
Yeah.
Than they do about somebody getting shot.
I love Kanye.
You know what I mean? Somebody getting shot on a fucking bridge in London, like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's if you offend someone,
yeah,
worse.
Well, if you offend somebody, you're a fucking animal.
Oh,
like, you know what I mean?
God. That's a choice you make. But, no, it is totally desensitized to everything now. And because even what we see, the news doesn't even blur it out anymore now.
No, once upon a time, now it's just like, bang, bang, there's somebody shot dead.
Imagine they weren't allowed to show Elvis from the hips down on TV
not
that long ago. And now we're watching this dude getting shot in London Bridge.
Yeah.
And it's mental. And I know my mum is terrified now because I live in London, and she's like, be really aware. Make sure that you stay aware. And I'm not sure what that will do to help me. But she's like, just be aware of your surroundings and be ready. That's my mum's advice. Just be very aware. And now there's been times that I've been on the tube. I live in East near West Ham, so when there's a game on in Stratford and all this, and it does get really packed on the tubes. And when it is really busy or in rush hour,
does it cross your mind?
In my head, I'm like, this is it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be bombed. This is it for me now, because that's what it's like now in London. And we're only been after taking off red alert or the. Yeah. We were on high alert, and then it was on, I don't know, amber, amber alert. Is that a thing? Is this storms?
No. Oh, jeez, it might be storms.
It might be storms. Red alert, amber alert. And then this terrorist attack happened, and now we're going to be back on red flag, red alert.
Well, anytime
high alert.
I've been in London in those packed situations, it's not really terror that pops into my head. It's the zombies.
Yes.
Now, you're probably more practical and probably more in the right, but for me, it seems to be zombies seem to pop into my head.
Yeah,
if somebody bites somebody...
You just know, always double tap.
Oh, yeah.
Always double tap. I feel like...
I learned that from an early age.
Yes.
Where's Richie Hayes coming all the way out here?
I feel like... Are we needed? No, we're all right. Sorry, I thought it was false alarm.
Friend of the podcast, Richie Hayes.
Yeah, just ran by. But, with zombies, I'm ready for that. I'm more ready for zombies than I am for terrorists.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'm more prepared because I watched
The
Walking Dead.
If your friends turned? Are you happy to say they've gone, even though they're a walking around corpse?
Oh, I'd shoot them in the head.
Would you? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and they do the same for me.
You'd want that, wouldn't you?
I would, so I wouldn't want to be looking like that.
Now,
I wouldn't want anyone to see me like that.
Now, I think we need to wrap up, but we wrap up on full-on conspiracy theories. Are the royal family lizards?
Yes, and so are Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, yeah.
Hands down, probably Nicole Scherzinger as well.
Jesus, I didn't even think of her. We're leaning into Louis Walsh now, because he's kind of elite, isn't he? Could he be a lizard?
No, I think Louis Walsh is one of the, probably a slug.
He's a facilitator, I think, because if you listen to Alex Jones, these lizard people, or David Icke, have you been, you need to go see David Icke.
Okay.
He does a 10-hour, he does Wembley Arena, he does huge, he did the 3 Arena here. He does a 12 hour...
David Icke,
yeah.
alright.
But basically, they're kind of trans-dimensional fucking beings that live in the 5th dimension, that are basically, they harvest our negative thoughts, and they're driving the negative thoughts that pass throughout the world, and more negative the world is getting. And facilitators to that are the likes of the lizard people who are on Earth. They're from the dark side of the moon, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they're the royal families, the people of high power, the Bloomberg meetings, these people, the likes of Hillary's.
Yeah. Oh, Hillary, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, Hillary for sure is
100%, no doubt about it. Isn't it mad that we could totally be monitored by a higher source that we've no idea about?
Yeah.
That we're being monitored, we're being watched, we could be being controlled, where everything's brainwashed. And that, it is like the fourth kind, like this, it's Inception.
Yeah. Well, what use are we, though? I don't know what use we are. Other than what they're suggesting, that our negative feelings are feeding these people from the 5th dimension.
Definitely. It is like, Stranger Things is ahead of its time. The upside down and stuff. We are destroying everything ourselves. We're destroying each other. We're destroying the planet. And I'm sure Isn't it funny that I'm sure aliens are looking at us going, what a fucking idiots. But that is being controlled. I think it's all, there's something that we don't know that's going on behind closed doors. There's so much we don't know.
Oh,
It's being
for
kept from
God's
us.
sake, there is. I mean, when you get to the big high powers like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all the rest of it, like they
And the
are.
Baldwins.
Do you reckon the Baldwins are in on it too?
We spoke about
We
it
did,
last
we
year
spoke
in
about
this
the Baldwins,
very
we did.
car park.
You did.
We spoke about how the Baldwins are all from New Zealand and Australia are full of Baldwins.
Yes, God, it
The
was
Hemsworth and the Hemsworths.
the Hemsworths. They're not even real.
No.
Oh no, they're not even real. They're computer generated. Has anybody ever met Chris or fucking Liam Hemsworth? No, you
Nope.
haven't. No, you haven't.
No.
You've
It's
only
just
ever
there,
seen-
and it's all that's all comes from the lizard clans.
What's your feeling on flat Earth? Just quickly, because it's such a popular thing and it's a big
Do you know
movement
what?
at the minute.
And I know it's like, oh, flat earthers are idiots, blah, 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 blah. We shouldn't believe them because it's been proven. Many other things were proven.
I mean, the
That we
argument
have to
for it
believe. And
is
you're kind
that
of going, what is true? Because we were, at one point, what was it we were talking about the other day? How a number of years ago, we thought smoking was good for us.
yeah,
And we believed that.
yeah.
And now we've been
A
told, no,
cigarette a day
it's bad
keeps
for
the
you.
doctor away.
Yeah. And it, like, for athletes advertised, baseball players were advertising cigarettes. And that wasn't that long ago. And now we're being told that this is healthy and the world is, I don't know, we've been told for many years now that the earth is round. And we're expected to believe that. What are we actually going to be corrected on in
That's
50 years' time?
That's a really good question. What are we going to be corrected on? No,
Yeah.
I mean, look, all evidence would suggest, why would you tell people that it's round when it's flat? You know, why would you? There doesn't seem
Yeah.
No, but the argument being, hand on heart, if you had your hand on whatever Quran, Bible, whatever you're into, and you stood in a court of law and you said, can you confirm that the earth is round? You can't, because almost 99.999% of us have never been in the stratosphere
Yeah.
to see the
And
curve.
it's like, well, there's satellite photos. Where did those photos come from? How do we know? How do we know?
Yeah, we weren't that guy. Remember that guy for Red Bull that jumped out of the plane out of the
Yeah.
stratosphere? We weren't that guy. We haven't been astronauts. We can only take them at their word. So
Literally, that's all we do is take people's word on what Earth looks like, what's going on in other countries. It's all just taking them on their word, and we can't believe anyone. You can't trust anyone.
that's the moral of the show.
The moral of the show is you cannot trust anyone.
That's the true line through everything you've spoken about today. You cannot trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone.
Not even me, Hayley Jo.
Don't trust us. Don't trust me. But part of me does say, bottom line, I want to say don't send dick pics, but actually I think it would be quite funny. So I actually would like your listeners to send in a couple of dick pics just so we can sift through them. Keep us going over the
But you know
show.
what my smart ass listeners will do? They'll send me pictures of people called Dick. Like Dick Strawbridge.
Pics of Dick.
Dick Byrne from Glenroe.
Dickie Rock.
Dickie Rock.
Oh, yeah. I'd love a photo of good old Dickie Rock.
He's a fucking lizard if ever there was a lizard.
He's a lizard.
He's one of the elite.
Yeah. And so is Cliff Richard.
Oh, for sure. Right, I think we better head back in because
Oh, we better,
I
yeah.
don't want to wear out my singing voice.
No, exactly.
On that beautiful note, Hayley
Tom
Jo,
is singing.
for the third time only,
Yeah.
the third time, only person to do it third time, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. See us, lads.